Hi, I'm Deb Heinecke, Commissioner of Worship and Music. My husband Daryl and I were married here in 1987, and I've been a member since. I lived in Richfield my whole life, and I actually grew up going to a Catholic church across town. And Daryl and I have 2 grown daughters. I work as a speech-language pathologist. Most of my career has been spent working with adults who have acquired speech, language, and swallowing problems later in life. I've been working in home care and hospice now for the past 17 years. And I really loved working in home care and hospice because I feel like going into patients' homes was the most natural way to provide therapy and to help patients. So that's been my favorite place to work so far. After years of working with patients in the field, I moved into the office and I worked in the education department training other clinicians. And now I work behind the scenes with our electronic medical record. My husband and I like to travel, and when we travel we like to hike and snorkel, and then we like to spend time at our cabin in the summer. And I also like to read and cross-stitch. Now, my vision for Woodlake, I really hope that we can grow as a congregation and grow into a welcoming place for all God's children. I feel like our 10 a.m. service is comfortable and meaningful to many of us who grew up going to church, but it's not necessarily meaningful to a person who did not grow up going to church. So I'm excited that we are starting to meet to develop a second worship, one that will be meaningful to people who may not be coming to worship now. So I'm excited to see where this will lead and hopeful that we'll continue to grow into a gathering place for all God's children. And in addition to that, we are working on hiring a director of music and worship. So we haven't forgotten that. We want to be intentional, and we're really taking time to reflect on the skills and the job duties that will be needed for a person in that position. So stay tuned, more information in the future on that. Finally, my vision, my long-term hope or wish, I guess, is that we will have a new sound system and a better camera system to stream our worship. We continue to have intermittent issues. The sound is not always good. And I just love that we have the technology and the ability for people to stay connected with Woodlake when they're traveling or when they're sick or if they're homebound. And I also love the idea that we can touch so many more people with this technology than we could just having in-person worship.